Will this new cartridge dominate precision rifle for the foreseeable future? In today's video, we're diving into the 7 Swig or 7 SWC. We're going to compare it head to head against the most popular precision rifle cartridge by far, the 6mm Dasher that you guys have come to know and love on the channel. We're going to look at the ballistics, hit probability, pros and cons of each, and I'm going to tell you why I think this could potentially be the future of precision rifle. Let's jump into it. Now I know what you're thinking, Pete, you must be smoking Varget again because people do not shoot 7mm in PRS. And you'd be right. Well, not about the Varget part, but about the 7mm part. We've been shooting 6mm for the longest time and they absolutely dominate the sport. But the guys at Sherman Wildcat have done some math and they figured out if we could get a 190 grain bullet moving at about 2,600 feet per second out of a short action cartridge, it could be highly competitive, and that is what is so exciting about this cartridge. So let's look at how they've achieved this. All the way on the left, we have a 308 Winchester, then the new 7 Swig, followed by a 6 GT, and then the Dasher all the way to the right. Now you might say to yourself, Pete, just why didn't they go for a 708, a platform that already exists? I feel like if you loaded this 190 grain bullet in that 308 case, it would be too long to cycle properly in a short action, and I feel like that's the limitation. Now it's important to distinguish how they've gotten this performance out of the new 7 Swig. It's a 6.5 by 47 Lapua case that we've necked up to 7mm. Now important to note, the version that you will see in the field will have a 40-degree shoulder. This is just a dummy round with a 6.5 47, so this shoulder angle over here will change significantly. Now pretty much guaranteed if you're watching this video, you're interested in pushing the boundaries of your performance. If you're looking to up your game, breathe some new life into an old rifle perhaps, or get into the competition scene, check out mdttac.com. They've got incredible accessories to kit out your next build, whether you're a hunter or a long-range shooter or just somebody that likes to have fun. mdttac.com has you covered, and I want to thank them for making videos like this one possible. So let's look at some numbers and compare the two against each other. For the Dasher, we're running a 105 grain bullet at 2,738 feet per second. For the 7 Swig, we're going to be shooting theoretically a 190 grain bullet at 2,620 feet. That's kind of the expected velocity you could see out of this platform. Now, if we had a target at 850 meters and we use the WES shot simulation software, we can predict our hit probability at distance on our theoretical 850 meter target. Now, some of the confidence factors here I've set too high. This basically means we know within a meter what the range to our target is. Our wind speed is basically spot on, and our wind direction, all of these things are basically as precise as they can be, which gives us best case scenario for comparing these two against each other. In the real world, where things change fundamentally the whole time, the 7mm will probably have an even larger advantage, as you guys will see. Now, it's really cool with this software. It gives us a statistical hit probability by shooting thousands of shots virtually, basically, and then grouping those and showing us what sort of hit probability we'd be looking at. Now, some of the environmental conditions I've used, I've got a 12 to 17 kilometer per hour wind. So our low value on the wind is 12 kilometers per hour, our high value 17. And importantly, the wind speed is coming full value from 3 o'clock. So let's look at what we need to put hits on targets. Let's look at the dope first, and then we're going to look at statistical hit probability. So first of all, for the 7 Swig, our dial-up is going to be 7.5 mil or 7.5 MRAD. The Dasher, we're all the way at 8 MRAD, so a significant amount of dial-up more. And that's just BC that you gain. Now, in precision rifle, that honestly means nothing, right? For me to add 5 more clicks is going to make no difference in my overall score of the stage. The real kicker here is how the 7mm bullet, even at 2,620 feet per second, bucks the wind. It's impressive. So on the Dasher, my low wind call is going to be 1.3 mils worth of wind at our 850 meter target. Our high wind value is a 2 mil wind. So it's a 0.7 variance between the high and the wind call that you could be shifted as your bullet is in flight, depending on what the wind is doing. With the new 7mm, our low wind value is 0.9 mil or 1.3. Okay, so we only have a 0.4 difference between the wind. Now, oftentimes when we're shooting precision rifle, our target is roughly wide, about 0.5 mil. So this basically means that in the exact same conditions, our dasher could drift off this target as a result of, shooting in either that high or low wind, whereas the 7mm will theoretically buy you enough margin to keep you on the plate. And that begs the question, if you start shooting something like this, is that a form of buying skill? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. To put some more perspective on that, the dasher is going to drift between 1.1 meters and 1.7 meters over the trajectory of that flight. Whereas the 7mm is only going to drift between about 77 centimeters to 1.1 meters. So all of a sudden, we have a 40 centimeter window to work with versus that 60 centimeter window. I mean, that's a mega difference, okay? And that's why I'm super excited, especially where I stay in Cape Town. We have some horrendous winds that we shoot here throughout the summer. So I'm really excited to start running one of these guys. Now the number we've all been waiting for. On this 850 meter target, I have a statistical hit probability of 68% shooting my 6mm dasher. If I was shooting the 7 Swig, I would have a 79% hit probability. That is an 11% increase in hit probability by stepping up to a 7mm bullet. But here is where we get to the giant but, okay? Does the BC gain that we will get with the new 7 Swig justify the increase in recoil? Because the dasher is known for being a super soft shooting, stupidly accurate cartridge. My rifle basically doesn't move when I shoot my dasher. The second I shoot this new Wildcat cartridge, I am going to know whether or not this is going to be the answer or not. Now, I haven't shot it yet. I've registered the cartridge with the police. We're busy importing rifles, so you guys bet we'll have a bunch of content on this. Our friend and fellow YouTuber Eric Cortina is making dies for these guys, so thanks a lot, Eric, for supporting this project. It's been super cool to be involved with over basically the last year, and I can't wait to start shooting this in some matches. I'm going to give it a proper go this season, run it hard, shoot a couple of thousand rounds, then we're going to revisit this cartridge and see how I actually feel about this. If I'm immediately impressed, you guys can expect a video immediately. Now let's look at some of the pros and cons, okay? Obviously, 7mm bullets are more expensive than shooting 105 grain bullets, especially now that you can buy these bulk packs. However, what I have found is people that shoot PRS typically do not worry too much about what it costs, especially if you're sort of one of the topper end shooters. You're really looking for marginal gains. I mean, guys are shooting 200-300 ATIPs on a weekend, okay, when we shoot these precision rifle matches. So I do not think that that is going to be too big of a deterrent. Obviously, you need some new dies so you can support Eric on that. And then ultimately, will it stick around? Now, I don't think really that is an issue for us, because if you're happy shooting this cartridge, whether or not it gets adopted mainstream or not really isn't the end of the world. As long as you have some brass that you can shoot a few seasons with, I really don't see that as a problem. This is probably not going to be a mainstream cartridge that sticks around and you're going to have factory rifles chambered in that. This is going to be a Wildcat, okay? As the name of the company suggests, Sherman Wildcat cartridges. Some of the other benefits that I feel like we're going to get with this. Oftentimes we're shooting very far targets from unstable positions. We are going to see bullet trace like nobody's business, pushing 190 grain projectile at a slow speed through the air. It's going to make a beautiful trace into the target. Often that is vital for us to see where we're actually hitting this target. Another thing which I think it'll mitigate is sometimes there's questionable hits. Did the plate move when a little 105 grain bullet smacks it at 1,000 meters and the plate's the size of my chest? It doesn't have a lot of kinetic energy. I think this will be a little bit more noticeable when it smashes into steel. Also, if you're missing, you're going to get a way bigger dust cloud kicking up or grass deflecting or whatever when you're landing a 190 grain bullet into dirt at 800 meters versus a little 105. So there's going to be some benefits to shooting a heavier bullet. But as I said, guys, the big but is going to be the second I start shooting this, how does the recoil feel like? And that is why I've actually been shooting a ton of 308 the last while. That has 100% been preparing for the 7 Swig to arrive so that I'm accustomed to shooting something with a little bit more recoil, because much like shooting a lot of 223 or a lot of 22 long rifle in the precision rifle space, it does make you recoil lazy. The second I started shooting this, I was like, oh boy, this thing moves a little bit in precision rifle terms, okay? So guys, I'm super pumped. I love it when people push the envelope, when we come out with new tech. And I felt like it was my duty as our sort of precision rifle channel on the tube to make a video about this exciting new cartridge. I'm excited to hear what you guys think. Have you seen about it? The Sherman Wildcat has a phenomenal Facebook group. If you're a hunter and you're watching this, I think this thing is going to absolutely slap. You know, if you can shoot 160 grain bullets out of this thing, it's going to be awesome. So we're going to do a little bit of both. Also, I do think a lot of that recoil can be mitigated by having just a giant truck axle of a barrel. So that's also an option. So we can see how much weight we can hang off the front of my action before it starts becoming a problem. It's probably worth saying, because I know a lot of hunters watch my videos, precision rifles are super built for purpose. You're not going to be running around hunting. This is not what it's for. This is designed for competition. I do think it has some hunting applications. I have always been a massive fan of 7mm bullets. I feel like it's that recoil sweet spot. My new hunting rifle is a 7mm. I'm a fan of 7mm, so I'm absolutely going to give this a go. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this new 7mm. I think I've said enough. I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, if you want to join the Sherman Wildcat Cartridge Facebook group, there's a ton of information there, and I hang out there a little bit, so I'll see you guys over there. Guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.